Topic 1. Middle East tensions and global oil supply disruptions. Summary, 3 to 4 lines. Middle East hostilities and Iranian reprisals have effectively shut the Strait of Hormuz, causing one of the largest shocks to global oil supply in history and driving fuel prices sharply higher. The IEA estimates a temporary supply loss of roughly 8 million barrels per day in March, and emergency releases of strategic reserves agreed by IEA members are judged too small and too slow to fully offset the disruption. Attacks on tankers, missile strikes on U.S. facilities, threats to major ports, and attacks in other seas have compounded regional risk, keeping markets nervous and raising costs across fuels, aviation, shipping, and fertilizer supply chains. As long as the blockade, ship attacks, and regional military strikes persist, strategic reserve releases alone are unlikely to contain the resulting price and economic shocks. Details. War and Iranian retaliation have effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, producing an almost unprecedented shock to global oil supplies. The International Energy Agency, IEA, estimates that March supplies temporarily fell by about 8 million barrels per day, roughly an 8% decline. IEA member countries agreed to release a record 400 million barrels from strategic reserves to stabilize markets, but most analysts judge the volume and the pace of releases insufficient to make up for the losses from the closure in the short term. The United States has said it will release 172 million barrels over 120 days, about 1.4 million barrels per day, which covers only a portion of the total loss. Oil prices surged, with Brent crude moving above $100 per barrel. Some analyses warn prices could reach $110 if the conflict lasts 2 months, and $135 if it lasts 4 months. Prices continued to climb even after the reserve release announcement, reflecting ongoing supply blockages, tanker attacks, and the strait's effective closure. In the UAE port of Fujairah, debris believed to be from intercepted drones fell and caused a fire that halted some oil loading operations, further disrupting regional logistics and fuel supply. U.S. facilities continued to be targeted, including a missile strike on the U.S. Embassy helipad in Baghdad. Former President Trump claimed he ordered U.S. Central Command to carry out airstrikes on Iran's Karg Island, and U.S. officials said they struck military targets on the island. Iran says its oil infrastructure was not damaged. Iran has issued evacuation warnings for major UAE ports such as Jebel Ali, Khalifa, and Fujairah, and has named non-U.S. assets and ports as potential targets, spreading regional insecurity. In the Black Sea, a Greek-flagged tanker, the Marin Homer, was damaged by what is suspected to be a drone or missile strike while approaching Novorossiysk. No casualties were reported. Attacks on ships and maritime threats add instability to world shipping and the transport of oil and fertilizers. The Strait of Hormuz shutdown affects more than crude oil prices. Jet fuel, transport, and fertilizers, ammonia, urea, etc., are also hit. Surging jet fuel prices and higher airfares, along with fertilizer shortages that could raise agricultural and food prices, are becoming real risks. Conclusion: as long as the strait remains blocked, ships are attacked, and regional military actions continue, supply bottlenecks will persist, and strategic reserve releases alone cannot prevent price shocks in oil, fuel, and food. Geopolitical and economic instability is likely to continue for the time being. Topic 2. Federal judge blocks subpoenas for Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Summary, 3 to 4 lines. U.S. Chief District Judge James Boasberg quashed 2 grand jury subpoenas seeking documents or testimony from the Federal Reserve Board and Fed Chair Jerome Powell, finding virtually no evidence to support the subpoenas. The judge concluded prosecutors likely issued the subpoenas for political purposes, to pressure Powell